exactly is the Robin Hood settlement going for GameStop that this is coming back again, and Roaring Kitty is pushing this meme surge?
I don't know what their settlement situation is. Like,
it's been allegedly near settlement. It must not be going quite in the favor that Roaring Kitty wants it to be going into if he's resurfaced, right?
do you think that has something to do with it? I don't know. I think he's just trying to capitalize on the big investment he made in social media many years ago, and he's trying to get rich for himself. And it might work for him, it might not, but it certainly seems he's coming pretty close to breaking the law. And I don't really respect the law myself, but I saw Jim Cramer snitching on him right to Gary Gensler. And Gary didn't say, hold on, Jim. People have a First Amendment right. They're allowed to tweet what they want. He didn't say that.
I think this is 100% like a settlement tactic because,
Settlement with who?
The Robin Hood settlement. Because if it was going well, he would be super well off and not needing to surge the price again like he did to get the initial settlement.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think that Roaring Kitty's trying to make $1 billion.
If Robin Hood is going to be settling outside of court, wouldn't they be committing fraud? Like Trump was just found guilty of?
No, why?
Do you remember
I'm being facetious.
Fox News and
okay.
Carlson kind of
Let's focus.
Forced him into settlement?
Let's focus on this matter. We're focused on GameStop fundamentals.
Oh my God, I was being facetious. You guys
And
have no sense of humor.
let's focus on GameStop fundamentals, which is what matters here.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I was just gonna say, momentum ignition, FINRA. That's exactly, I think, what he's violating.
Sorry?
There's something called momentum ignition.
Why don't you describe that to me? I've never heard that.
It's one of the rules in FINRA, which is basically it's a type of market manipulation, which is basic. So that's specifically, I think, what they're going to come after with.
Well, FINRA's an SRO. It doesn't technically. It doesn't set rules. It can kick out its members, right? But it's not a government organization or anything. The SEC, and he's not a FINRA member, right?
No, I think he is.
Well, he's got a Series 7 or something, but he's not a bank.
He has a lot of certifications.
Yeah, but you can take the certifications away. You can't take his trading account away, right? So you can't ban somebody from trading. So it's not like.
But I think that's why they're gonna be able to take out his all of his trading accounts.
Yeah, they can take out they can close his trading account because they feel like it, right? Like they don't even have to say anything. They could just say.
Referring to Roaring Kitty?
Yeah.
Yeah, because basically E-Trade's threatening to shut him down, and
You guys don't think there's a sliver of a chance that he's indicted for this?
That's what I'm talking about. So what I was saying was that I saw Cramer on TV today with Cramer has a law degree, by the way, and he's very much an establishment figure. I know Jim. I like him a lot. I think he's super smart, but don't get it twisted. He's a powerful guy that has a lot of connections. He's got Gary Gensler 10 feet away from him, and he basically is sitting there saying, hey, this guy just did something illegal. Why aren't you busting him? And Gensler is kind of doing this crazy backpedaling. If you noticed, he was like, well, what? I can't talk about it. When instead what he could have said was, Jim, I can't control a guy who tweets. That's not my job. He's allowed to tweet whatever he wants. Just because other people buy a stock because he likes it, nothing wrong with that. Did he say that? Nope. He just stood there stuttering, and I could read his eyes and say, Kitty might be in trouble, man. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, by the way. I like the game played fair and square. I think he's going to lose on his own merits. I don't want government, kind of coming in and messing things up because they're upset at Roaring Kitty. but looks like they're upset at Roy and Kitty, so I wish them luck on that one.
Are they upset at Roy and Kitty, or is Ken Griffin influencing them?
Oh no. I don't think Ken Griffin knows what Roy and Kitty is.
Ken Griffin loves this shit, man. Like massive spreads, no liquidity. He's raking the cash.
Yeah, this is big money for him. Yeah, he doesn't care. The Ken Griffin stuff is the funniest to me, but
yeah, people act like they're sticking it to him, and this dude's literally like the first time right after everyone acted like they're sticking it to him. Citadel reports the biggest profit of all time. It's like, I mean, what the hell are these people thinking?
sad. Anyway, any GameStop fans in here? Anyone want to tell me why I'm wrong? Want to save Deutsche Bank some money before it's too late?
I got a question, actually.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, you know, Roaring Kitty has 5 million shares, 120,000 call options, effectively in control of 17 million shares. I'm just, like, curious. I don't know the answer, but I'm curious if there's a potential, like, liquidity issue within the market if he decides to exercise those calls. I hear a lot of people say that he can't because he doesn't have the money, but I don't think anyone really knows that. So I'm just curious, is the liquidity a potential issue that could drive the price up?
I don't think so. I mean, when you buy an option, somebody else sells it to you, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we're presuming that they're covered and that they have shares to give, but that's kind of what I'm like wondering about is.
I mean, what do you think Jane Street and Susquehanna do for a living? I mean, this is their thing, right? Like, you know, those firms have a lot of money, a lot of capital, and they can. That's only a couple percent of the shares outstanding. It's not even 5%.
Well, it's about 5% from what I understand.
Yeah, that's not much, right? I mean.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's the question. So like, you feel really confident that even given that like exposure, like they're totally fine. This is totally just like a short waiting to happen and rigging it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good business for them, as Bruno just said. I mean, it's a fantastic day. You know, they make money anytime somebody trades an option. These guys make a little money, and their computers know how to do that. And you know,
with them having to cover those shares, they're buying them, which is also, you know, it's creating a factor of gamma that's forcing the price up.
True.
That is kind of the point, yeah. Like, especially if he exercises all those calls at like the same time, and there's this like massive liquidity, dearth, like at that moment, like people will have to buy, people will have to spend that money and drive the price up, though, right? Like,
maybe you know the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. What if he's in jail by then?
Could happen, but I mean, and like I get it, like I'm not long this stock either, man. But like, you know, the notion that like it's a shitty business that shouldn't be valued where it is now, and it certainly can't go any higher. I think in this particular case, kind of a flawed premise, because that's what we said.
What happened when the stock was? Well, what happened when the stock was? Let me go look. Let's see. I don't know. A few months ago, when the stock was at $10. What'd you say then?
Sure. Well, I say that the interest in the stock was a lot lower than
Okay, it'll be back lower at some point when people realize there's nothing here. It was all bullshit.
I'm not agree with you. I'm just saying that in the interim, like it's a timing thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
the next, like,
A great time to sell. A great time to sell something is when everyone's euphoric and idiotic about it. There are no GameStop Twitter Spaces a few months ago when it was 10. All was happening was a bunch of apes saying, "Gee, I'm gonna have to work overtime. My Robinhood account's really low, and I don't know what's gonna happen. How am I gonna make ends meet? I bought all this GameStop stock, and it's worthless. And now there's Twitter Spaces. So what's a good time to sell? Now, great time to short and sell because in 6 months, nobody's gonna be talking about GameStop. We're gonna be talking about Nvidia hitting $5 trillion. We're gonna be talking about OpenAI going public. We're gonna be talking about cool stuff. We're not gonna be talking about this bullshit because this is bullshit.
OpenAI is not going public, Martin.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yo, Martin.
What's up?
Are you winning?
What?
Are you winning?
Winning what?
Steak, bro. I know the fucking sound of the slot when I hear it, brother.
What are you talking about?
Dude, I hear some slot machines going off. I know the bells.
I think you're talking about my YouTube notification sound.
Shit, dude.
Golden State.
All right, well, we need a new lineup up here. See if we can get some fresh blood. Any GameStop fans?
Hey Martin, how are you doing?
What's up, man?
So I'm just curious. Obviously, GameStop doesn't work at all on the fundamentals across the board of anything. But does it matter if just people are bidding it up? I think GameStop is bullshit. It's not worth anything as a company. But looking at a crypto, Ethereum Classic, is Ethereum Classic worth that? It's only worth that because there's another moron that will buy it.
Correct.
Do you think it has? Does it have to be different for stocks? Like, I know this is a kind of a new effect where stock prices are going high or down and things along those lines, but does it have to be that different than crypto? Like, no one's like, oh my god, I can't believe people are spending this much on Ethereum Classic. How stupid. Because
it's a great short, by the way. Ethereum Classic is a fantastic short, and so is Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV. Here's the thing. In 1999 and 1998, two very large hedge funds, both of which I'm very connected to, Soros and Tiger, closed after great losses, shorting the dot-com bubble. In 2000, I worked at a hedge fund that made 35% that year, shorting the dot-com bubble. So yes, timing matters a lot. The obvious to all of us is it's obvious. The Tiger was short all the shitty dot-coms. So was Soros. It was a tough thing to do in 99, 1 year early. Just 1 year early before it all blew up. What made it all blow up? It's kind of a money velocity thing. It's a sentiment thing. It's a bunch of different things that all kind of swirled together to have what some people call a Minsky moment. It's pretty unpredictable. Nobody knows. But that's also why you don't go crazy. Those funds had a lot of exposure, a lot of leverage. You just make a little bet. And when it all falls apart, you're going to look back and say, I wish it was a bigger bet. Sure. But
maybe the better catalyst, because everyone here, they believe, or I guess the GameStop people, they believe some big thing is coming and it's going to force the price up, the short squeeze, things like that, which obviously doesn't exist to the same way in crypto or anything along those lines, at least not to that level. Do you have any knowledge-based people to be like, listen, it's not going to be forced up because Citadel hasn't closed or something. It might be forced up because you guys are all regarded and buying it over each other for more and more, but it's not going to go up because of some fantastic short squeeze that'll never stop.
Yeah. I mean, you can lead a horse to water, right? Like, it's just really hard to talk sense into people, and the same thing happened in the dot-com bubble. I can tell you all the stocks in the dot-com bubble I shorted. There are hundreds of them. And I shorted stocks in 2007 too early, using some of the same tactics I described earlier. I had a big problem with Lehman Brothers. Then Lehman went bankrupt. Saved me a couple mil. Really ironic. But look, I don't know, man. It's if you try to make too much sense of it, you kind of lose your mind. I think what's better is you just kind of don't overthink it. Put your short down. If you can buy 100 quality companies at good prices and you short 100 shitty companies at expensive prices, you do fine. And you just don't go all in. You don't go crazy. Maybe you have a stop loss. Maybe you don't. But don't get too wild about it. And I think everything will be fine. I don't know if that helps or not, but I do think that momentum burns itself out. That these things have half-lives. You can't stay excited about something forever. That's why the big squeeze when it went to 400 didn't last for more than, half an hour? The second derivative always turns negative. Then the first derivative turns negative. Then people leave. You think Andrew Tate or Dave Portnoy is going to be interested in this? 3 months from now? 6 months from now? A year from now when nothing's happened? No. They're going to happen.
How do you feel about this is off topic. How do you feel about Intel as a value play? Everyone says they're not going to be shit until like 2016 with 18A, but you know, I assume by that point, the price will be up. How do you feel about them in general?
Yeah, it's probably a decent value play. We'll see what happens. I don't know for sure. Anyway, this guy's this guy did this yesterday. I think showing off the intellect of the GameStop average GameStop holder.